This couple were mourning the loss of their baby when a waitress's question left them floored. Debbie and Sean Riddle were regulars at the Westside Cafe in Fort Worth, Texas. When they stopped by for lunch one day, they perhaps had more reason than ever to treat themselves. They had, after all, just suffered the loss of their baby daughter, Glory. But then their waitress asked an incredibly awkward question. Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. It was an afternoon in June when the Riddles went to dine at the Westside. Although they ate there quite often, they were nonetheless surprised when their waitress remembered them from a previous visit. Indeed, it had been a month since they last ate at the cafe. In fact, their server that day, Kayla Lane, often remembers the customers who dine at Westside. Although she comes into contact with many people while waiting tables, she just has a knack for placing a face. "I remember people," the waitress told CBS Dallas in June 2015. "I'm really good at remembering people." And as Kayla recalled on their previous visit, Debbie and Sean had brought along their daughter, Glory. So ever the thoughtful waitress, Kayla asked after the couple's baby. However, it was a question that was met with an awkward response. "They kind of looked at each other and were very silent," Kayla explained, but the waitress couldn't possibly have known the answer she would receive. In fact, the response broke her heart. As Sean recalled, "We said, well, she passed away 4 weeks ago." On May 4th, Debbie had laid her newborn baby, Glory Alice Riddle, down for a nap. Tragically, the 9-week-old infant never woke up. As is the way in cases of sudden unexplained infant death syndrome, Debbie and Sean have never understood why this happened to their child. Understandably, Kayla was then horrified that she had asked the question. "I'm like, oh gosh, I made them remember," she said. Of course, she hadn't intended to make them think about the trauma that they'd recently experienced. Unable to shake her embarrassment, Kayla consequently wanted to do something for the couple to make up for her blunder. So when Debbie and Sean finished their meal and were ready to leave, she handed them the bill, and written on it was a note that touched the bereaved parents. The note read, "Your ticket has been paid for. We are terribly sorry for your loss. God bless the Westside." Debbie later admitted, "I was just shocked." She even refused to accept the cafe's gesture initially, but Kayla was adamant that the company would pick up the check. However, the note and indeed Kayla weren't telling the whole truth. The Westside Cafe hadn't picked up the bill at all. It was actually Kayla herself who insisted on paying the check. In fact, the waitress was in the habit of picking up bills for members of the military and firefighters who dine at the restaurant. "Normally, I pick up the check for people who are underappreciated," Kayla explained. But when it came to the Riddles, she didn't pay their bill to ease her conscience at mentioning their daughter, nor did she act out of pity for the heartbreaking situation. "I didn't do it because I felt guilty for bringing it up, or even because I felt bad for them," Kayla said. "I did it because it was amazing to see their strength through it all. And it was a gesture that moved the Riddles so much that Debbie shared the note on Facebook." While posting an image of the note on Facebook, Debbie also wrote a message. It read, "We hear so much negativity on the news, and so that is why I felt led to share the story in hopes that Kayla and this restaurant will get some good recognition." But the story doesn't end there. Touched by Kayla's generosity not just toward them, but also the countless other checks that she had paid out of her own pocket, the Riddles wanted to do something for her. Debbie wanted it to be Kayla's turn to reap the benefits of her own kindness. When Debbie learned that Kayla was working in the cafe to fund her education to become a teacher, she figured that she had to do something to pay it forward. And as Debbie thought about what she could do, she imagined what her baby daughter might have done in that situation. As it happened, inspiration came from an unexpected place. While Debbie was going through Glory's things, she came across a onesie that her daughter had rarely had the chance to wear. Emblazoned with a butterfly and covered in pink hearts, its slogan read, "Kisses 25 cents. I'm saving for my college fund." It struck Debbie that her daughter would now never need a college fund, but it got her thinking that there are so many others who might never afford an education, or, like Kayla, would struggle to make ends meet while studying. So, inspired by her waitress's act of kindness, Debbie started a scholarship program in memory of Glory. Though their grief at the time was immeasurable, the couple were given some much-needed respite by Kayla's selfless gesture. And in providing support for the cafe staff via this scholarship fund, the Riddles would not only echo that kindness, but also help make its workers' lives easier, just as Kayla had theirs. "I did pay for their meal, but I didn't want any recognition," Kayla subsequently wrote on her own Facebook page. "I just simply wanted the satisfaction of being a helping hand in a time of deep sorrow for this family. However, what I didn't expect is how much of a blessing their family would be to me." She concluded, Their faith was apparent and it inspired me so much. The downpour of positive words and chain of love that this story had started around the world is more than I could have ever expected and makes my heart so happy. I am eternally grateful. Thanks for watching another heartwarming video. Please check out our channel for more stories that will make your heart melt.